Hi, name's Ronzel, and let's say we have $100 and we want to build a gaming PC. But honestly, before we even get to know how to do that, we should probably talk about what $100 actually gets you in the PC space right now. Because it's not as much as you'd hope. And going in with the wrong expectation is genuinely how this whole thing falls apart before it even starts. Because $100 in PC hardware is just not a lot. Like, the average GPU alone can blow right past that. A power supply from a brand that won't literally catch fire costs nearly that much new. So, if you're picturing yourself running modern games on high settings, it's not really where we're landing here. And I'd rather just say that up front so we can actually focus on what is possible and which is more than you'd think. Because what we're building here is a real machine that plays games. Just not every game and not at every setting. And once that clicks, the rest of this gets a lot more straightforward. Now, part of why this budget is so brutal is the current state of things. PC components have gotten stupidly expensive over the last few years. Between supply chain issues, inflation just eating everything alive, and the GPU market taking forever to recover from the crypto mining craze. And the used market is actually your only real friend here. New hardware at this price point is basically a fantasy. So everything we're talking about today lives in used territory. And that's actually fine than you'd think, because that's where the real value is anyways. So the first thing you need to understand, and this applies to everything in this video, is that used market is your entire strategy. Facebook Marketplace, eBay, local swap meets, thrift stores, Craigslist if you're brave, and that's where you're spending your time. And before you go, Ronzo, that sounds so sketchy. Yeah, it sometimes is, but here's the thing. Buying used PC parts isn't actually that scary once you know what you're doing. And most people who warn you away from it just had one bad experience and never tried it again. So the key is being smart about it. Just be careful, and if you see any big red flags or if the price was too good to be true, then it probably is. Ask for more pictures, videos of the components. Heck, if they are shipping the PC parts, ask for their personal IDs first so you can report them to the authorities if they scammed your ass. I don't know, things like that. And before you buy something used, make sure to haggle. Seriously, haggle. Most sellers on Facebook Marketplace already priced their stuff expecting someone to offer less. So if something's listed at $60, offer them $45 and see what happens. The worst case is they would say no. And so then there's your negotiation skills going to work. Well, depends if you have one, but seriously, just haggle. And also, when you're looking at deals, just don't take the first listing you see. Search the same parts in multiple platforms. Compare their prices and wait for a few days if you can. The deals are there, they just require patience. But let's talk about the real warnings, because I'd be doing you dirty if I skip these. Buying used means you're buying someone else's problem sometimes. Parts could be failing. RAM sticks can have dead channels that don't show up until a week later, and hard drives especially. Those things can just die on you with almost zero warnings. So when you're buying used, always ask the seller for a video testing the product. And if it's a local deal, make sure to meet up at public places. And also, bring your own quick diagnostic tools. Try doing some stress tests on it, and if the seller gets weird about that, just straight up walk away, because that's a massive red flag. And for online purchases, use PayPal goods and services or buy from eBay where you have a buyer protection. Because using bank transfer can be a real pain in the ass if you get scammed. So yeah, there's real downsides. You might get a part that dies in 2 months and the warranty is obviously gone. You might get something that works fine but runs hotter than it should because it's been sitting in a dusty garage for 3 years. Those are the most common trade-offs, but here's the honest truth. Once you know what to look for and you stop panic buying the first thing you see, the used market is genuinely not that bad. Most people sell parts because they have upgraded and not because the part was dying, mostly. Now, this is one of the best advice I could ever possibly give to you. If you want to stretch $100 further than you probably thought possible, used office pre-builds are honestly one of the smartest moves you can make. We're talking specifically about things like Dell Optiplex, HP ProDesk, or the Lenovo ThinkCenters. These things are everywhere. Companies buy them in bulk, use them for years, lease replacements, and then dump the old ones at the price that are almost embarrassingly low. You can find an Optiplex with an Intel i5, 8 gigs of RAM, and a solid-state drive for $30 to $50 on Facebook Marketplace in a good day. And that's a really insane value for what you're getting. The reason these are so good for a budget build is that a big chunk of your work is already done for you. The processor, RAM, storage, operating system sometimes, all of it is already in one box. You're not hunting for individual components and hoping to find a decent deal for each one. You just buy the thing and slap a cheap used GPU in it and you're gaming. That's the dream version of this. But, and this is real, but upgrading these things can be a massive pain in the ass. And you need to know that going in. Some of these office pre-builds, especially the small form factor versions, use completely proprietary parts. The motherboard might be in a weird non-standard size. The power supply might use a completely custom connector that only works with Dell-specific PSU. And the case itself might only fit low-profile graphics cards. So if you don't know what any of that means yet, don't worry. What it basically means is that you can't just throw any old upgrade at these machines and expect it to be compatible. So the rabbit hole gets deep fast and you start thinking, okay, I'll just upgrade the power supply so I can run a better GPU. Then you find out that the power supply connector is proprietary, so you need an adapter. But then the case doesn't fit a full-size GPU, so you need a new case. But then the motherboard is weird, in a weird size that doesn't... You see what I'm going with here? You're gonna be doing all that stuff, and maybe spend 3 or more hours on Reddit, and you're more confused than when you started. It's genuinely one of those things that the more you dig, the worse it looks. Because trust me, that happened to me before. And it's with this fucking thing, it's kinda weird, but yeah. So here's what I'd actually tell you. If upgradability matters a lot to you right now, these office pre-builds are not going to be your long game. But I mean, they're a great starting point. A legitimately excellent starting point. But treat them as a temporary setup you'll eventually replace rather than a foundation you'll build on forever. If you just want to build something that runs games and you're not thinking about upgrades yet, then these are perfect. Just make sure before you buy that you know what form factor you're getting, what kind of slot it has, and whether you need a low profile card or not. Those are things you can easily identify and you can research on the internet. Anyways, before I continue with my, recommendations on what the fuck can you buy with $100, can you please comment down below on how much is your budget you're willing into, to build PCs? And I just want to do it for my personal research. Alright, just comment down below. Anyway, so yeah. Also, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Okay, let's continue. So, for a budget of $100, I did manage to build a PC that is kind of capable. Now, please note that all of this was recorded all the way back in 2022. And also, I live in the Philippines, so the prices varies now. And I just got really lucky on the build, but back then, I did manage to grab me an HP ProDesk 400G5MT with a Core i5-8500T. It also had a 8GB of RAM on it, just for around 4,000 pesos, or just around $64. It already had a 128GB SSD included on it too, so I just got me a used GTX 1050 Ti for around 3,500 pesos. And the total just comes around to 120 bucks. And with all that specs, what can you actually play with it? Well, here, take a look at the benchmarks.
Yeah! Restoration! Pay attention to your mouth! One more!
It's a legitimate gaming machine for a specific tier of games. Not everything, not at max settings, but games most people play anyways. Look, $100 is tight. It's genuinely tight. But if you're patient, you're willing to dig through listings, you're not afraid to haggle, and you know what to look before you buy, you can put together a PC that can play some games, which is actually impressive when you step back and look at it. Just don't go expecting magic. Go in expecting a smart, scrappy setup that lets you play games without letting you fucking, burn through your wallet. Then yeah, it is what it is, and honestly, that's enough. Anyway, so yeah, my name is Ronzel and thank you for watching my video. I'm just a small YouTuber, so if you could hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, it would really help. Anyway, so yeah, see you guys soon. Bye.